And we are live. Just checking that my mic's not too hot. I always try to do that so I'm not blasting your ears out. Welcome, everyone. It's Saturday, and I'm here once again. We're here to talk primarily Splinterlands, Atlas Earth, whatever other type of Web3 or play-to-earn game you'd like to talk about. We do have a fair amount of information, new information to talk about as far as Splinterlands goes. But let me start off by saying, hey, if you continue to like this weekly live stream, please like and subscribe. That's my promo there, so appreciate it. Hey, Matthew Young's in the house. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending upon where you are in this fine world. I appreciate you stopping by and spending a little bit of time with me. We've got a lot of new stuff in Splinterlands to talk about this week. Gathering the Magic's here. Good morning. So much to talk about. Where to begin? Yeah, you're right. Alex Toro says, insurance checks for the win. If you were impacted in the hurricane areas, I feel sorry for you, and I can commiserate because I used to live in New Orleans, and we encountered and went through several big hurricanes, including Katrina. So, yeah, it's a battle trying to get anything out of the insurance companies, and if you ended up getting a check, it's probably not what you need to rebuild your house. So this isn't really an insurance or hurricane discussion, but I can commiserate. And I'm living outside of that area now. I'm living up in the Philadelphia area now. So the funny story behind that was we moved away from there about a dozen years ago. And as soon as we got up here, a hurricane bounced along and hit us up here. So, but good luck, because I know what you're going through. Came back from Katrina with a huge pine tree on top of our house. Had to have a portion of our roof replaced. And I don't want to dig up those memories. Paul Taylor's in the house. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Appreciate it. Always good to see Paul. People's Guild in the house. Yo. People's Guild kicks it off by saying, before we get into Splinterlands, I was on a Pink Floyd kick today. Revisited Wish. You Were Here, Dark Side of and Animals, Legends. Oh, man, I love Pink Floyd. I am wearing a Led Zeppelin t-shirt, though. I love Led Zeppelin as well. If you pin me down, I would say that my favorite album was Wish You Were Here, Welcome to the Machine. Love that album. It's one of those albums that is shorter in the fact that it's only got a few songs on each side. It does last full album length, but I love Welcome to the Machine and Wish You Were Here. I love that. So I'm in the same boat. Love Pink Floyd as well. iKeys here. Welcome. Good afternoon. Crypto Beavers in the house. Welcome. Good morning to you. The Wall is Lit. Yeah, another good album. You know, they've had what I found sorry over the years, or I've been sorry about, is the internal conflict that really pushed the band apart, and we're not seeing, you'll never see Pink Floyd together again or anything. So that kind of, but personal relations be as they may, pushed them apart. Matthew Young says, TBG, Pink Floyd is amazing. Every now and again, I really go on a kick listening to them and a couple others from that time period. I usually turn it on when I'm in the mode to kind of relax and I guess kind of think a little bit, sit there. People's Guild says, Wish You Were Here is by far my favorite album. I've got to agree with you, like I said. Gathering the Magic says he likes Van Halen. I love Van Halen as well. Fair Warning is a great album. I love that. I like Van Halen is one of those, if you're tuning in now, yes, this is a play to earn and crypto gaming discussion, but for some reason we got off on music. Maybe it was my t-shirt. My daughter got me this. It's a repro of the Led Zeppelin it was a tour t-shirt, but it's a reproduction, obviously. Yeah. So, yeah. what I was going to say is that Van Halen is one of those interesting bands that you can listen to each of their band. If you line up their discography, I guess you would call it, or albumography, and listen to them, you can hear the change in the band from where they started. And I love both eras, right? So either way, I love Van Halen as well. People's Guild says, "Shine on You Crazy Diamond is absolutely brilliant bookends, but Have a Cigar, Wish You Were Here, and Welcome to the Machine are absolutely epic." I have to agree with you. That album is one of those, I'm an old guy. So, over the years, there are certain albums that I've bought so many times I've lost count, because back in the day, I was a kid and I never really had a full album player. I had one of those little record players that kids use. But by the time I was a teenager and was buying my own music, it was cassettes and then obviously CDs. And then we morphed into, I bought a couple, Led Zeppelin 4, the Pink Floyd albums, certain Van Halen albums. I've bought several times over. And then when we got into the digital era, I bought them on, iTunes and stuff like that. So some of these albums I've bought 6 or 8 times during my lifespan. They're so good. And back in the day, your cassettes wore out. They got ate up, stuff like that. CDs got broken, got scratched. So you had to buy them because you wanted them in essentially your playlist forever. So some of these that we're talking about are permanently on my playlist. So Animals is Paul Taylor's favorite. Raceland, good morning, Splinterlands family. Good morning, Raceland. Thanks for stopping by. And I've said this before, but if anybody wants to look and research where Raceland got his name, an excellent set of books. Love that. We've talked about that before. People's Guild says was definitely your t-shirt. Yeah, my daughter got this me a little while ago, maybe for Father's Day or something like that. What's my favorite Led Zeppelin album? I would have to say it's probably, I got to say Led Zeppelin 4, Zoso. Maybe Houses of the Holy, be a toss-up, So, but either way, I've got like 6 albums permanently on my playlist. Virgin Music Store for the win. How huge was Virgin Music back in the day? Yeah, I remember I grew up in Indianapolis and we didn't have one, but I remember seeing pictures of the Virgin Music Store like in New York and stuff like that, these huge music stores. And finally, when I moved to New Orleans, they had one down there and it was pretty big, but it wasn't nothing compared to the ones in the major cities. I just had the small hometown mall music store, but that's where you went to the mall to hang out, pop your quarters into video games, and grab a slice of pizza if you were lucky enough to have enough money, and you always wanted to stop by the record store and see what CDs and cassettes you couldn't afford. If you were lucky enough, they'd have a PlayStation where you could listen to some of them. Okay, let's see here. People's Guild says, "Man, I love albums that are made to be the cohesive album, like Pink Floyd did it. Now we are in a world of singles nonsense. There's a few bands that respect the album, but it's mostly a lost art." Yeah, that's a whole long conversation, but I agree. Where there's completely different. Some bands saw the big picture, and it was like going to a movie. Listening to an album was like going to a movie where each part just fit together. And it's kind of like, you listen to one of these songs and then you hear it, and maybe you'll be listening to the radio station and they have like two for Tuesday on Q95, and they'll play 2 Pink Floyd songs together, and they're playing them as singles. And you're like, that's not what goes after that song. You're thinking how the songs blend together and how they were made. I'm pretty into this, but they were made to go together, and then when they play them out of order, it just kind of backsets your brain a little bit. Okay, let's see here. People's Guild continues saying, dude, Virgin Music Store and the Amoeba Music Store were my jam. We had one in South Indianapolis called Karma. Actually, there was a few of them. And this was one of those record stores which you would go into, and it kind of had that light smell of pot smoke and incense. And you could buy albums, you could buy the blacklight posters, you could buy, I think at certain points you could buy bongs and water pipes in the store. So pretty interesting, man. You're taking me back, you guys. Oh. Gathering says, listen to Operation Mindcrime by Queensryche. Awesome concept album. I liked Queensryche, but I have to say I'm guilty of only really hearing their singles. I don't think I've ever sat down and listened to one of their albums completely through. Jabby Saints is here. Hi. Alex T says, I had the one in Disney. It was 2 stories. They used to have Halo tournaments. It was so awesome. I remember going to one in Disney down in Florida, and it was like this. It wasn't the albums, although I remember it was one. It was in the part of Disney you had to get the special membership to go into, and they had this huge record store. It might have been that. Maybe this was a little bit later on in time because when we went was in the late 90s. But they also had a three-floor high arcade, which I had to go into. At that point, I was a dad, but I'm like, why not, Man, we're not even talking about cards today. That's all right. Whatever y'all want to talk about, it's fine with me. Alex T said, Matthew Young says, ever venture into metal? I would say that I like a lot of different types of music, okay? I'm a wannabe musician. I'm a wannabe bassist, right? And I used to play with a guy that was a lot better guitar player and a lot better drum player, and we used to play around down in New Orleans. But I would consider myself a lightweight metal listener. I like Metallica. Yeah, shoot me. I like new Metallica. I like old Metallica. And there's a few other bands that I really like that back in the day were considered metal. Like I love the Scorpions. I find the Scorpions kind of a mixture of metal and what do I want to say, symphony kind of thing. But I would say I'm a lightweight. I'm not a headbanger, but I'm a fan of good music overall because I also listen to country. I like old country. So I like a lot of different types of music. I'm not one of those guys that can get pinned down. If you looked at my playlist on my phone, you'd be like, where is this guy? This guy's all over the place, but I love it. I love blues, I love live blues. Living in New Orleans, one of the best things in New Orleans was the live music, man. You could go out any night of the week and find great live music in New Orleans, even metal, So, Gathering says 80s metal. Exclamation point. The People's Guild says, any Talking Heads fans here? That 80s for you, Gathering, that's 80s. Yes, Stop Making Sense is one of my all-time favorite. They were, I'm an 80s kid, 80s teenager. I grew up, I was in high school from 84 to 88. So Talking Heads were big back then, I wouldn't say they were on my favorite list, but obviously we heard them because they were hitting the playlist on the radios and stuff like that. And they were fine, that was definitely, I believe, early 80s we're talking, but and they're back on the road. I remember seeing some videos where the main dude with the, if we're thinking of the same people, are back on the road. A lot of these old bands have decided to kick off the dust and go back out. That's why I'm sorry that there's such a dispute between the main guys and Pink Floyd, and they're not going to do it. So, although one of them is continually on the road doing the Pink Floyd type stuff. Matthew Young says, if you've ever heard of Ice Nine Kills, they have an album called The Silver Scream. It's an album that is all about horror films, and it's kind of blends together. It's cool. Nice. Gathering the Magic says, once in a lifetime. Yeah. Alex T says, nah, it was downtown Disney, but that area you're talking about is Pleasure Island. It's gone now. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, this would have been in the late 90s when we took our daughter down there a couple times when she was young. And I remember we had to have this membership, pay a certain fee. It was kind of cool. We enjoyed it. Obviously, it's very expensive to go there. We took her there when she was 5, and we took her there when she was 10, and that's the last time I've been there. So it's been quite a while. Alex T says that whole area is something else now. I forgot what it's called. People's Guild says, dude, caught Metallica at Mile High a few years ago. Show was stopped due to lightning storms, and guess what they were back on stage with? Ride the Lightning. Yeah, Grandpa's still got it. I've got to admit, first of all, that would have to have been the only choice. They would have had to, if I was a member of the band and we went back on after Lightning Strike, I'd be like, yeah, we got to do Ride the Lightning, you know. But I have to agree, and those guys are getting older, and it's tough to put on a show like that, you know, and get up there for, you know, an hour and a half plus and play. And, you know, you're getting older, you have to do a lot more work to stay in shape. A lot of people don't know it's a fair amount of work to be up on stage and do that touring, you know. This has quickly become a music conversation. Matthew Young says, I grew up on Metallica. Yeah, I love Metallica. A lot of people have that that opinion that the old Cliff Burton days were the days. I love the new stuff, man. I love the Black Album. The Black Album's my favorite album. You know, I'm not afraid to admit it. When Enter Sandman comes on, I crank that thing up to 11, you know. So, not afraid to admit it. That whole album is a great album, in my opinion. Yeah, David Byrne, total weirdo. Oh, wait a minute. I skipped Gathering's statement. Guns N' Roses, AC/DC, Queensryche, Rat, Living Colour, Scorpions, Primus. Love Primus. Primus, if you've seen some of their videos. And he's, shout out to, what's his name? I forget his name. He's an awesome bass player who heads up Primus. That's killing me now that I can't remember his name. Yeah, David Byrne is a little bit of weirdo, but like you said, total genius. Yeah, I saw this video where he goes to the cleaners and takes out that big old white suit he used to wear, and, you know, kind of showing that he's going back on the road. Pretty funny. Touring is a lot of money. Yeah, and they have to do that now because of the way the music business works. You know, it's pretty much, that's the way you're going to majorly make your money, is touring, instead of what you used to be able to do, get record deals and make a decent amount of money selling records and CDs. Now you make, from what I hear, just minimal money on MP3s, you know, licensing your music out to these different services and stuff. So they're finding that they're having to, whether they like it or not, dust their guitars off and get back out on the road, right? Let's see here. If you've just tuned in, yes, this is usually Play to Earn talk and you know, Splinterlands talk, but we are talking music today, which is fine. I don't have anything against that. Let's see here. Please like and subscribe. We're not always going to talk about music. Let's see here. Raceland says my favorite metal band is Ice Nine Kills. I have to look them up and listen to a few. People's Guild says, okay, Ice Nine Kills is on the list. Wow, did you see that? Not see that message you read already mentioning Ink. Love that band. The People's Guild says Primus is sick. Les Claypool, yeah. I can't believe I forgot his name. Yeah, he is a genius. He is a genius. So funky, so funky. I mean, I challenge you to find a groove master that's got groove better than him. Gather Magic says Tommy the Cat, DMV, yeah, my name is Mud. He's another one of those bands that has just went kind of a little bit under the radar. They've had a few that hit the top 20, but they just keep going. after all these years. Raceland says, at Matt Young, cheers, mate. Surprised you mentioned them, as I rarely run across them, anyone aware of them. People's Guild says, Mick Jagger has the elixir or the cocaine. Old fogey is still rocking out. Yeah, but I think this is their last tour. Of course, they've said that. I think they've had like 6 last tours, but I think from a wannabe musician standpoint, I think you get into that and you do that, and that's just your life. And a lot of these bands retire, quote unquote retire, and after spending time at home and their kids grow up and everything, they're like, what am I going to do with myself? What do I know how to do? What do I like to do? Is go back out on the road, right? So they go back out on the road. Nothing against that. You just got to know yourself, right? Obviously, some of it's probably about making money as well, but I think you just get used to what you're doing, and that's what you know how to do. I'm trying to make sure I pronounce this name right. Mr. Unicorns GT, welcome to the chat. Glad to see you. Imagine if Metallica had Atlas Earth. Oh, we got an Atlas Earth play here. Yeah. Did you check out those new skins in Atlas Earth? The Halloween skins? Pretty cool. I'm still not paying for the upgrades, but they're pretty cool. I like them. Kind of matches up with the skin talk here in Splinterlands we're talking about. I think all games start selling those skins to make a little bit of money. Jeffrey Wright says, music conversations are good, though. It's how we discover new music and become more musically rounded. I agree. And Alex T agrees as well. Victor's here. Howdy, people. Want to know if there's any Splinterlands battle simulator you guys can recommend. Somehow Splinter Tool is not available. I cannot answer that. I do not. Alex T says Excel. Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen a simulator for Splinterlands, to tell you the truth. And there was it Splinter Tool that was taking their bot offline. I seem to remember that because KGM Jam used. Am I thinking? There's a bot that KGM Jam used. I think it's Splinter Tools, but they said they're taking it offline. I seem to remember that information. Maybe I'm totally off the mark, but maybe they went down. Matt Young says, at Raceland, yeah, I don't hear their name often either, but they really caught my attention a few years ago. Mr. Unicorns GT, Bronze Dragon, you're going to take over Stealth Spot in AE. No, I think there's no chance of that. In case you guys in case you're not playing Atlas Earth and you're a Splinterlands player, Stealth is the president of the United States in Atlas Earth. That means he has the most parcels of land in Atlas Earth. And this is a guy that spent thousands and thousands on this game. But currently there's a battle for president going on with Maximus Damagus, who is also dumping a bunch of money to whale in on it. So we're kind of watching it to see, who's going to take off. But definitely not me. Although upcoming, I've been saving up to make a move in Atlas Earth, and in the next week or two, depending upon how long it takes me to get there, I will have a big video coming out, and you'll be like, what? And I'll put the big clickbaity title on it and everything. Huge font, because I'm going to be, hopefully, I don't want to give it away, but keep an eye out for a big video. People's Guild says, nothing sells more tickets than This Is Our Last Tour. Correct? Yeah. Kiss had their farewell tour in like 1997. Yeah, I think this is their last one, though. I think they've had enough. But they went out with a bang. Let me tell you what, they sold a lot of tickets in the last year. And Kiss is a completely different conversation about music versus marketing. Gene Simmons, while probably not on the best bass player list, is definitely a great marketer. People's Guild says, ook. So Conclave Arcana, what about it? Arcana? I pulled up this page because I knew, I haven't even made a video about that this week. I know everybody else has. I pulled up the page just with the information. What I wanted to do before, I wanted to listen to the town hall before I went and made a video about it and everything. And I still really need to make a video about it, but I figured we had plenty of time. I figured this is going to pass. Let's look over and see what the situation is currently on the proposals. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it's 90% for. And if you're unaware, this is the news where they put out in Splinterlands about the news about the next set of cards, which will be next year, second to third quarter somewhere, if everything hits right. But a lot of interesting information. I do like the idea of the new types of packs. I think this is hot on the heels of the what they've actually done in the game as far as in the store, in the Glint store. It's the same idea, right? Let's go back to... So having different types of packs is the same idea process as having the rarity draws and the different types of loot chests and everything. It's just pulled out, and it addresses several things that people have talked about over the last year or two, right? So I think it's a good call. I don't know, I haven't even looked at the prices really. I do like the idea of legendary packs. I do like the idea, I know I'm throwing a lot at you, I do like the idea of these different types of packs. You've got your standard pack available. If you want to go in harder and you want a legendary, then you can go in with the 24,000 DEC, which is around $20 US right now. But think about it. We've all opened packs. Think of how many packs you have to open up to get a legendary. Wouldn't it be, what's this? Almost 5 packs, okay? You can open 5 packs and not have a legendary. So why not just pay for a legendary pack and get a legendary plus 4 other random cards, right? So I like this idea. The Alchemist pack, I guess if you're into gold foils, I'm not so much into that. I thought about Gathering the Magic when this came out because he's really into gold foils for his secondary account. Gold foils offer a lot of value, especially if you're keeping an artificial ceiling on your account and you're playing at a lower level. Gold foils have a lot of value for players that are playing, not way up in diamond and above. Obviously, there's value in them above, but they get progressively more expensive. But right off the bat, especially if you're a new player, you always want to check those gold foil prices, because sometimes you can get a gold foil like a gold foil common starts at level 3. A gold foil common 1 BCX might be cheaper than buying enough BCX of the standard foil to make a level 3. So I like the idea of that. I like the idea of the starter pack. Love the idea of the starter pack where you can get 25 cards. 5 of those are going to be guaranteed rare. And the rest are common, possibly more than 5 rare, who knows. But this is for new players, right? This is also for players who you get in and there's going to be a couple rares you really like. There's going to be a couple commons you really like. So why not beef up the starter packs? I find it interesting that they made it so that the starter packs were not tradable when in pack form. When they get into single form, they're tradable, right? I find this all interesting. So, that's my brief take on it. I need to do a full video, but I wanted to listen to the town hall first and, listen to people talk about it before I went ahead and did a video. Okay, let's check out what chat is saying. Matthew Young says Xbot has one, meaning that there's a simulator, a Splinterlands simulator, to the person asking about that. Gathering says, looking forward to the new pack types, but I think they may have to readjust the prices on legendary and gold packs. Yeah, like I said, I haven't really seriously considered the prices, but I do know that, like I said, legendary packs, 24K DEC, which is roughly $20. In most cases, that's a great value because you can open 10 packs. You can open 20 packs and not get a legendary. So I wouldn't be surprised if they looked at that again. Now, I did hear Matt on the town hall say that they had really thought about these prices and thought that they would kind of average each other out. And that's besides the whole discussion about the rares and commons being in much more abundance. So I still have to think about that. I heard what he said, but I'm still thinking that the lower price on the starter pack will drive prices down on the common and rares. But to tell you the truth, most, I don't know, I haven't looked at the numbers, but I would think that most of the money made is selling epics and legendaries. Maybe wrong, but if you're a card seller and you make a lot of money off of commons and rares, let me know. Now, the one side discussion to that is rare summoners, because rare summoners are probably some of the most sold cards in the game, right? Because what? Everybody needs summoners, right? Until you get them maxed out. Okay, let's see here. Alex T says CA is going to tell the future of Splinterlands, the new set. Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, there's been a lot of changes. They, like you heard him say in the town hall, he's cut back more. They're tightening their belt as much as they possibly can. I do like the fact that they hired on a person for advertising or marketing. So we'll see how that goes and see where he's going to focus his efforts. But I think it's a good start. Mr. Unicorns GT, if Maximus wanted president back on Atlas Earth, he would need to spend 43K at the moment. Yeah, he's come on the scene very quickly. And I saw him talking, not talking, but it was in Discord or on Reddit, one of the two. He said that he converted a bunch of other investments into Atlas Earth, and he's using it as an investment tool. I'm not saying use it as an investment tool. If you've watched a lot of my videos, I'm having fun playing it, and I'm playing it free to play, and I'm making money on it, which can't be said in most other cases of games I'm playing, you know. But I'm saying be very wary about treating it as an investment, okay? Because primarily, if you die, you cannot pass that down. Obviously, there's ways around that, but either way, what I'm saying is he's put a lot of money into it lately. And it kind of gathers steam, right? And I've talked about this in a number of other videos. As you take over as mayor or governor or president, you get a lot more Atlas bucks rolling in, and it kind of snowballs on you. So it's a little bit easier. It gets progressively easier. Obviously, you have to keep traveling around to more areas to take over as mayor, but it kind of snowballs, and you progressively get more free Atlas bucks, which helps you, you know, to move forward. Obviously, there's a lot of money put into it as well, but it's strategy, really. And I've talked about this in a number of videos, but I think it's pretty cool. Let's see here. Matthew Young says, that's so cool. I used to go to Warped tours and other festivals all the time and got to meet a bunch of different bands. It's such a sweet experience. I used to go back. I went to a few concerts back in the day, but I've got to say that after living in New Orleans for a dozen years, maybe 15 years, my favorite setting for music is a small setting. There's nothing quite like being in a huge packed arena listening to music, but it's completely different when you're sitting 15 feet away from them, you know, and listening to them actually play. So two different experiences, but I got to prefer the small venue for me. Both Raceland and Matt missed the Warped Tour. Never went to the Warped Tour. I went to a Lollapalooza. I think I went to the first Lollapalooza. Not to say that I've got a gray beard, but I've got a gray beard. Gathering Magic says, I am so behind on making content with all the new stuff, and I still need to work on the Market Watch video. Yeah, I think a lot of people have started just using you as the news, basically, keeping up with everything. The market just changes so rapidly that you can't assume that items that you thought were in cards that were in a lot of them available, not so much anymore. So you got to keep your eye on it, and one of the ways is watching Gatherings videos. Keep thinking maybe one day you'll put on like a suit and tie and you'll be like, this just in. Market Watch. Okay, let's see. And I know how you feel about getting behind on things because sometimes there'll be a stretch of like no news, nothing to cover, and then there'll be like 10 things happen all at once. Matt Young says, so many good times. People's Guild says, man, I miss live music. My concert days are very far and few in between these days. Yeah, I mean, they're so expensive. I mean, they have always been kind of expensive, but, you know, like I said, Metallica is coming to Philly next year in the summer, June, I believe. And I looked at tickets. I'm like, oh, might take my daughter. And it's just like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Once you consider getting the ticket, going downtown park, and I guess this makes me sound like an old fogey, but man, once you start, you know, $1,000 once you're done with it, you know, $50 T-shirts and what have you. I'll just buy their CD and listen to it on my stereo at home. Spend $1,000 on a new stereo or a new receiver. I need a new receiver. And this one's flaking out with the setup with surround and how we watch TV, and the remote just doesn't work right sometimes. Let's see here. Same TPG. I miss going to concerts. Victor says, at Matt Young, thanks. Just what I am looking for. Trying to catch up here. A little bit after noon. Let's see here. Gathering says, Alex T says, well, I've lost track here. Yeah, I flip down in the conversation and I completely lose track. Matt Young's going to the grocery store. See you later, Matt. People's Guild says the updates to conflicts are the only bit I'm not a fan of. I think it's going to cause more damage than good for nickels and dimes. I did not catch the change in conflict, so I will have to look that back up. And yes, I agree. Boo for adulting. Mr. Unicorns asks, what's the purpose of this game? This is Splinterlands. It is a collectible card game. It is on the Hive blockchain. You can buy, sell, trade cards, and play a game to earn a crypto token, which in turn you can turn around and trade for money, real money. So it's basically a Web3 card game. So, and a lot of this station, my channel started off. That's how I started off covering Splinterlands, the game. But it's kind of morphed out, and I discovered Atlas Earth this year and a number of other games. So that's what this is about. Gathering says, for me, gold commons are a no-brainer. I only need one of each, and if I get more, I can send them to my main. If anyone's planning on buying the gold foil draws, unlocking is anyone planning on buying the gold foil draws, unlocking and selling. That's an interesting point. I heard them talking about it, and I don't really plan on doing it right off. I'll have to see the numbers, obviously. I do understand that, especially in your situation, and whenever we were able to level limit our play, I had a silver level secondary account, which I used gold foils a lot for that primary reason. Let's go to the market and look up gold foils. And just for the sake of argument, let's look at Rebellion and Chaos Legion cores. So you can see, obviously, it's a lot easier to tell gold foils on the older cards than the newer cards, but you can go in and you can see, like Nimbledook Scout, this is a common, but you can see that this card starts at level 3, okay? You get a level 3 card, and let's see what the $1.67. Now, if we went back and looked at regular foils for Nimbledook's Scout, we will take a look at level 3, takes 14 BCX. Let's see here. Well, there's a level 2, and it's already $1.84. So a level 3 would be, so in this case, a gold foil would make really good sense if you needed a level 3, right? So not only are you getting the gold foil, but you're getting it for less than or the same amount as a standard foil. And if you play gold foils, you're getting extra SPS glint per win. So that helps out. Now, what happens is it gets more expensive as you get higher levels. So if you want max level gold foils, it's progressively a lot more expensive, but at the lower levels it does make economic sense to me. Okay, let's see here. Where am I at? Alex T says the time to sell rewards cards is over. The unlock cost is going to keep decreasing at this point. Yeah, I unlocked a few things to switch over to my secondary account, and that's it. Not unlocking anymore, don't believe. Let's see here. Isn't the cost staying at 20x? It's 20 now, but over time it will decrease. At least that's how I remember. I think the lowest was 10x. It'll dip to 10x once out of print. Yeah, I think it all depends upon how... Obviously, the more important cards, the more popular cards will stay up there, but the lower popularity cards... and I've seen some people that have went all in, especially, and kind of a side comment, the people that have went all in on the legendaries, or not legendaries, but legends. I've seen some people that have bought up a bunch of these and immediately dumped them on the market, right? I think the Night Stalker looks very cool, but I started examining the prices of it, and it's still just kind of expensive for me, so I haven't bought any. Let's see here. Jeffrey Wright says, I don't use AE as an investment too. What I do is use it to defray the cost of bills that are the same price each month and take the money I saved and invest that. So far, I'm converting the EC. Nice. I just like to, I guess people get tired of hearing me say that, because I also say it on my Splinterlands videos. This is not investment advice. But I think these games, you should play it as a game. Obviously, it's nice if you can make some money off of it, and I am making money off of it. But what I would hate to see is somebody come back around a year or two now away and say, yeah, I took your advice and I put all my money, I mortgaged my house and I dumped it into Splinterlands, or I dumped it into Atlas Earth, and now I'm broke. I would hate to see that. So that's why I always say treat this as a game, and that's why I'm kind of treating Atlas Earth. I've put a lot more money into Splinterlands just because from my card playing background. But from Atlas Earth, I'm primarily playing it kind of free to play. I am putting a lot of time and effort into it because you have to play the games and you have to go in every 20 minutes and watch the ads and everything. But it's pretty interesting, and they're doing a lot of advancement as far as bringing the game to more countries around the world, and they're bringing more to the game, especially with a small development team, right? So Alex T says, I enjoy Gathering the Magic's market analysis, though he should use Excel. I always end up wanting to buy something after I watch his. It's the same way with watching Dwayne's videos. I watch Dwayne's videos and I always go away like, oh man, he pointed out something I should have bought already. So, and also at that point, it's usually already had the Dwayne effect, and then there's no deal left. So. So, what did I do this week? I bought DEC after the news dropped about the new card packs and the new set and everything. I bought DEC, and DEC has been going up. It's on an upward trend. It's at 85 cents, so per thousand. If you're not from Splinterlands, DEC Dark Energy Crystals is a token that's supposed to be, if it's at peg value, 1,000 crystals per US dollar. It's at 85 cents, so it's a little bit under, but as you can see the graph, it's significantly above where it was. So I've been buying a little bit at a time. Same with SPS. Didn't buy any SPS this week. I bought DEC. Specifically to be used for the new packs whenever they come out down the road. Obviously, DEC has a lot of different uses, so I figure it won't go to waste, and I'll buy some while it's still under peg. Gathering says, market buyout episode #1 coming soon. Alex T says, then we could export to Tableau, make it look all pretty. Oh, man. Make a dashboard out of it. Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm a Salesforce admin. Gathering says, I'll send you the data. You can be my assistant. Maybe next year in January, I'll be your assistant to show you how to do it and how it would benefit you for a month or so. People's Guild says, woohoo, 85%. Probably like 2 to 3 weeks. We'll get it done though. SPS looking healthy on that 2-month chart. Yeah, I agree. SPS is looking great. DEC is looking great. I think it's just a combination of several different announcements and changes they've made over the last month or so that's brought this up, you know. So, and look at this DEC liquidity, you know, over the last 120 days. So that's 3 months. It's went down from, that's billion, 5.7 billion to somewhere above 5.45 billion. You know, hey, you know what? If you are in the chat, let's see, what are we going to say? I'm trying to remember what the website is. Okay, here it is. If you're in the chat and you would like to win a Rebellion pack, just put like and subscribe. Like and subscribe in the chat. Get your name in for a spin of the wheel for a Rebellion pack. I'll wait for a few minutes here. Let everybody get their name in. Like and subscribe. Type that in chat and get your name in on the spin for a Rebellion pack. While I catch up with chat here. Alex T says all crypto is going to keep going up for the next 15 months or so. Bold call, yeah. People's Guild says Solana market cap going to flip ETH this cycle or next. I don't know. To tell you the truth, I don't keep track of it really. I put money into games that tokens that I'm playing the game in and just use it to play. If I make a little bit of money here and there, that's fine. I don't use them as investment vehicles. I do have some ETH. I do have some Bitcoin sitting in my cold wallets, but nothing to, you know, move the needle. Okay, we got the People's Guild. My Financial Journey coming in, being a lurker. Welcome. Good to see you. Yeah, once again, this is not sponsored by the team or anything. This is just a pack I bought. Let's see here. Raceland. Ikey. VT Mac Guru's here. Welcome. Always good to see familiar names. Bolts85 is here. Welcome. Hey, Bolts, I want you to type like and subscribe in the chat if you want to get your name in on a, I'm going to draw for a Rebellion pack. Jeffrey Wright. Victor says, Bronze, do you still play Magic the Gathering? What format you playing? I do not. I buy them. I buy sets once in a while. I buy packs once in a while, and I'll go. Like the last one I did anything with was the Lord of the Rings set, just because I liked the idea, and I went down and played a few I don't even want to call them tournament, just mini game store tournament type things. But I don't play it a lot. I think it's well known that I think that Hasbro has strangled the life out of Magic the Gathering, and I just can't keep up anymore. Tarab the Bold is here. Welcome. Joffrey Jones is here. Hello. How's Off the Grid going? Bolts85, getting the name on the list there. Mystic Force is here. Welcome. Trab says, hi, usually watch on the TV. Had to fire up the PC real quick. Did I miss somebody? Gathering says, when will people move into buying Rebellion packs when Chaos rotates out? Too late. Good point. But I think that with them including the fact that you can use Rebellion packs on the next, within the next set of, what do I want to say? On the wagons. I think that really pushed people into buying some. So, we'll look at them. Okay, Mystic Force. Let's see here. Anybody else? Liberty Guy Off Grid. Welcome. How you doing? Alex T says, or going to live IMX media projects and posting on their equivalent media platform. IMX would probably be better because they have TCG games. Joffrey kicks in, says, Rebellion is such a weak set. Haven't bought a whole lot of it. Mainly because it's just so expensive to... I think with me, I'm not forced to yet, right? I am playing in Wild primarily because most of my cards are there. Most of my cards are Chaos Legion because they're cheaper, right? And it presented such a large expense to go in and buy Rebellion. So we'll see with the next set. We'll see how it goes, but it's primarily about prices. Okay. Okay, well, let's go ahead and spin this. Anybody here currently that wants to get your name on the list that does not see your name on the list, type like and subscribe. One more minute. Okay, let's spin. Here we go. This is for a Rebellion pack. And it goes to the People's Guild. So, congratulations, People's Guild. Love watching your episodes. What Hive account would you like this pack sent to? Let me know in the chat while I catch up with chat. Let's see here. Ikey says, anyone else here going to try for the Heloise card auction? Man, you know what? I saw that and I'm like, that card is so cool, but there's no way I'm going to be able to get one of those cards. The whales are going to gobble those up, and I would not be surprised if those cards were going for several $100s, if not $1,000 a piece. And that's crazy money to me to spend for a card. That's not saying that I won't try for one, but I don't think I will be able to get one. Yeah, I think that's one of those cards that's going to be insanely powerful. I do like the fact that it starts out max level. I'm seeing if I'm missing this. People's Guild, what Hive account do you want me to send that pack to? Yep, going to budget $500, says Ikey. Liberty Guy Off Grid says that is going to be a $1,000 card. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Would not surprise me at all. People's Guild, still waiting on your name, Hive name you want this pack sent to. So I know we didn't spend a whole lot of time talking about Splinterlands this week, but plenty of time to talk about the new packs and new set. Terab says, that auction card is too rich for my blood, but I'm really looking forward to the new 25 card starter packs. A nice change. Yeah, I agree. I like the full selection of card, starter packs. And like I said, it was kind of like an evolution of what they've done with the draws and everything like that. The same kind of idea. I like that idea where you can be a new player. You can jump in the game and you're like, oh, I'm not worried about like legendaries right now, but if I could get a bunch of cards, because that's what you do when you start a game. You jump into playing Magic the Gathering, something like that. You go in and you buy a lot of the lower card sets to try to put together some cheap decks, right? And then after you get the idea of what you're playing and what value would be towards spending a little bit of money on a legendary or something, then you go into it. Unless you're a big whale or something and you just jump in buying legendaries, which is not what I do. Alex T says, yo, B Jangles, how come y'all don't do the Sunday live stream anymore? Joffrey says, not to go off topic, but I made over 1,000 in Illuvium in 2 months. Nice. I tried Illuvium. I just couldn't get into it. Gathering Magic says, maybe day 50. People's Guild says, we're going to try and start doing the Battle Royale streams again soon. Nice. That should be interesting. Might drop by while I'm eating my Cheerios on Sunday morning. Well, we're at the bottom of the hour. People's Guild, let me know in Discord what account you want this card pack sent to. Otherwise, thanks everybody for showing up. I always look forward to talking to y'all on the weekend, discussing whatever we talk about. It's usually Splinterlands related or Atlas Earth related. So I do appreciate everybody stopping by. Please remember to leave a like and subscribe and forward this video around to anyone you know may be interested in this kind of topic. Otherwise, this has been Bronze Dragon. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you on the flip side.